Hey everyone. So another error in the captain's judgment has put us in a bit of a pickle. Here we are again in a pickle. I mean, it's not so bad because we've got the right boat for ending up in pickles, but yeah, I made a boo-boo as far as depths were concerned. But that's not what I want to talk about. Someone this morning asked me to talk about how I got started in this lifestyle. So, how did I get started? It happened in a lot of ways. Part of it was because my dad died before we could sail around the world with him. And since then, I had it in mind that I might one day do something like this. So, I just kind of paid attention to boat designs and what made for a good boat. And in particular, I learned something sailing around Vancouver Island that one summer with the whole family when I was 9 years old. We just had a lot of issues on the boat. It was a big 72-foot wooden catch, and it had two big diesel engines and a really big rig and big sails, and I kind of appreciated early that boats come with troubles, and I wanted to minimize those. And then later in my 30s, I got into primitive skills and kind of learning to appreciate independent lifestyle. And I decided I really wanted to be completely independent of corporate systems, and be able to handle things for myself. So I designed and built a new kind of transportation, an amphibious vehicle, human and wind powered. And with my wonderful girlfriend, we traveled across the United States a couple of times in that, and up into Canada, down into Mexico. We put about 10,000 miles on that vehicle. And I wanted to work on improving that design because making it even more practical than it was, and take that around the world. But kind of circumstances conspired to make me consider a possibly easier route of traveling the world. So after years of consideration and looking at different designs, I chose this design, Ian Farrier's folding trimaran. This is the F9 RAX version. It's basically it's very similar to the Corsair built F31, but it's a great design. I'm glad I chose it. And it cost me about $40,000 US to build. That was back around the turn of the century, and there were ways I could have spent less. I mean, I bought a lot of stuff and put a lot of hardware on this boat that wasn't necessary, like all of the fittings, for example, for holding the trampolines. I've since replaced all of those and used an easier method of putting the tramps on, like I'll just show you here real quick. I'm sorry I got this laptop computer in my hand. Can't use the phone anymore because it's got a little water damage. So I'm just holding the laptop. You guys don't seem to mind the terrible production value of all of this. I appreciate that. But yeah, I spent $40K. I could have probably got it done for $30,000 back then. I don't know what it would cost today. Prices have gone up considerably on a lot of things. But I'm noticing not too bad, like when it comes to the Divinycell foam. There's cheaper outlets for that now coming out of China, so a lot of money could be saved there. Carbon fiber isn't terribly much more expensive these days. Some people complain about carbon fiber. I saw someone in the comments say carbon fiber was a pain to work with. I don't know what you're talking about. It's less of a pain than fiberglass. The dust falls to the floor quicker. Anyway, it doesn't bother me at all, carbon fiber dust. Now, fiberglass dust, on the other hand, that's a nuisance. But yeah, I'll try to edit this out. It's early. My back hurts. Yeah, we're here in the coral. Not that good. Fortunately, the wind isn't up, and the tide's coming up. We'll be out of here. And yeah, I put a real robust bottom on this boat because I'd traveled a lot in small craft and know that inevitably you're going to make errors in judgment. I might make more than most people, but I get away with it because I've got a robust bottom. And yeah, I put 7 layers of Kevlar on the bottom. I wasn't messing around with that. So I can just bounce off stuff. And that's a good idea. It will save you a lot of problems. I mean, I have smashed the hell out of the bottom of this boat. Sailed it over reefs, sailed it right into the Baja Peninsula, doing like 8 knots, right up onto the rocks in front of a crowd even. But we just pushed it off, and that was it. We scratched the paint off a little bit. 2 hours, 2 hours of repair work, really. So easy to fix this boat, so easy to haul it out. Am I getting off the topic a bit? What was the topic? Yeah, getting started sailing. It's a great lifestyle. Keeps you fit, keeps you happy, keeps you interested in life. I'm 62, if you were wondering. And yeah, I can still run around and play like the kids. What were the other questions? I wanted to look at I don't want to show you inside, it's a mess in there. I've got just shit laying around all over the place. Novia keeps it pretty clean most of the time. She keeps the dishes out of the way. That's cool. That's great. Yeah, I'm terrible at making these videos, really. I don't really like it, I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. I just wanted to help people get out on the water. That's why I'm posting these videos, because I see a lot of people get started and they really don't know much about boats. A lot of people think they do, but in the end they don't. And I got a problem with most boats. They suck. They really do suck. There's so much wrong with them. And nobody's talking about designs like this and the virtues of them. They just don't get it. And for some reason, people are frightened of them. They're frightened of a vessel that doesn't have a keel. I don't really understand it. I mean, this boat can't sink. I've gone into it already. I don't want to go over it again. It's one of the few designs that sails well in light air. And, we only need a knot or 2 of wind, and we're cruising along 4, 5, 7 knots we're cruising along at, and 3 knots of wind. Yeah, so cheap to maintain this boat. Seriously, I don't spend more on average, and I've been doing this for 22 years in this boat. On average, I do not spend more than $500 a year. And that's because and that sounds a little bit high to me, because most years I'm spending like $80, because that's what the bottom paint costs, and like a paint tray and a few paint rollers. And that's all I need to put into it some years, because I annually do a bottom, clean the bottom and paint it. But other years, it's spendy. I buy new sails. I've had some major fuck ups on this. I smashed the hell out of it one year. The first year I was out in it, it just got really smashed up. But even then, the repair was, to fix the boat only cost like a little over $500, but I did have to replace a couple of solar panels, and I had to replace the engine because that got smashed to hell. And this video is already getting long. And I say that because I can't post videos that are more than 15 minutes long, because I'm not a verified YouTuber. I'm not monetized. I don't want to do any of that. So I have to keep this under 15 minutes, and I've only got a few minutes left. Yeah, maintenance costs are just, it's cheap. And the reason I'd say it's like 500 a year is because of the sails and what I put into just upgrading it. Really, it's probably less than 500. And I don't really keep records about that. This is all off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's 500 or less. And the other thing, from the comments, people were talking about how they're thinking of getting started in this, and I think that's great. Number one is your fitness. You have to be fit to run around in a boat like this and do it the way I do. And so stay fit. Don't worry about it once you get started, because the lifestyle will keep you fit. It'll keep you running around and having fun and enjoying life. I'm enjoying the hell out of this life that I'm living here. It is fun. It keeps me interested. It keeps me going. I'm always excited to see what I'm going to find at the next island or around the next point. So go for it. Just go for it. The hardest part is your first step. Just getting out. Just pushing away from, the shore or the dock or wherever you're at. That's the hardest part. Once you're out, it's all easy from there. But yeah, the boat you pick is everything. It will determine, everything. And you can't go wrong building your own boat. You just can't go wrong there. It's not as hard as you think. I mean, I had no experience really when I started building this, but I did buy a good set of plans. So if you can build a model out of a box, you can build this boat. You can build any boat, really. And building it in foam and glass or carbon's the way to go. I've already made that point, so I won't go on. I gotta cut this off here. Anyways, my hair's still looking pretty good. Not bad this morning. Somehow it's not that bad. I should have brushed my teeth. Not that it would make any difference, but at least I would feel better about them. All right. Thanks for commenting, everyone, and liking. Not that it's, and subscribing. It gives me a little encouragement. Doesn't matter much because I'm not monetized, like I said. So, and I'm just going to keep rambling on if I don't turn this off.